Welcome to this video guide on introducing solid feeds to puppies. Around the third week after birth, the mum will have produced the maximum amount of milk volume wise that she will do, and around week 4 the puppy's teeth start to develop, and you will find that the bitch spends decreased periods of time feeding the puppies and longer periods away from them. This is about the right time to start introducing a semi-solid feed as a supplement to the milk that they get from their mum. So what we're doing here is preparing a formula mix. We're using lactol, which is a specific puppy mix. We're making this volume-wise to the recommended concentrations. So I've got in here just over 100 ml of warm water out of the kettle. And we've added 1 scoop, we're adding a second scoop to the mix now, and that will be mixed. And what we're going to do is add to that approximately 30 grams of a complete puppy food. We're using Burns here, and what we will do is put that dry into the warm water milk mix and mix it and leave it in the almost boiling solution so that the puppy meal absorbs a lot of the liquid. And what we'll do then is liquidize that so it is almost a smoothie consistency, and add cold water to decrease the viscosity of it down to a sloppy mix, and we'll show you that when it's completed. But the first stage is just to leave this now for approximately 5 to 10 minutes and let the puppy meal absorb some of the liquid.
It's Tuesday morning. The puppies are 4 weeks old exactly today, and we just started last week over the weekend to start to introduce some solid or semi-solid feed. We're using Burns Puppy Mini, which is very nice quality small bite dog food, and the aim is by the time the puppies leave us they will be eating this dry. Currently obviously they're eating it in a very sloppy mixture made up with this puppy milk. So we're going to make the puppy milk up, and then we'll add it to the puppy food. We're only making up a small quantity of feed at this stage because we really want to just have enough food so that the puppies will eat it all in one sitting. The puppies are still getting most of their intake, their calories from mum, who's doing really well breastfeeding them, and the other dogs are having a nosy to see what's going on. We like the Burns puppy food. We actually use it as a treat with some of our smaller dogs because they like it so much. And also what we found with the Burns food, although it's more expensive than some of the brands of dog food, we've tried quite a few of them with our older dogs, and we found that this suits their tummies the best, and they all maintain their weight very nicely on Burns. The adult dogs are on Burns, is it Burns Working?
Yeah, working mix.
Burns Working mix, which suits them very well, and we do find they get a lot less wind with it. Okay, do you want to make the
so we're
up?
making the lactol up to the recommended concentrations, which is 2 level scoops to 105 ml of hot water. Mix the milk formula in, and what I'm going to add is approximately 30 grams of the Burns Puppy Mini into that.
It's a bit like making a puppy food smoothie.
And this kettle really is just boiled, so this has now got to sit, and what will happen is the puppy food will absorb quite a bit of the liquid, get very mushy, and then before we're serving it to the puppies, because they're so young and their teeth are only just coming through, we are going to liquidize that with a blender so it forms a complete mush.
Do you want to get the blender out and just show them the sort we're using? Basically, you want to get the puppy food, once it's absorbed the milk, it should still be quite liquidy, and then you just blend the whole thing with this, so effectively you make a puppy food smoothie. If it's too thick, we'd add some more milk to it, some of the puppy milk, just to thin it down. And you want it at this stage at quite a runny consistency, so the puppies are sort of lapping it up. There won't be very many lumps in it at all, so it's very, very easy for them to eat. And gradually, as they get older, we'll allow the food to be more lumpy, and then quite lumpy, and then by the end they should be onto the dry food.
We found our 7 puppies will eat this volume of food in approximately 5 to 10 minutes. They're just about clearing the bowl now, just letting mum in to finish it off. When we find that they are wanting more, we'll gradually increase the volumes. Frequency wise, we're feeding them at the moment twice a day. finding that's about right. Mum's still feeding them with her milk, but she's increasingly spending shorter periods of time in with the puppies feeding them. I think that's a combination of her getting a little sore now as their teeth come through, but also they're getting much stronger and vigorous in their sucking.
Okay, I think we'll wind it up there because it's a little bit boring just looking at the puppy food in the blender. So anyway, we'll show you later on when we're feeding the puppies. Bye for now.
Okay, this mix has now been soaking for about 2 to 3 minutes. It's absorbed quite a bit of the fluid. The puppy meal has swollen up, and what we're going to use is a standard food blender, a hand blender, just to liquidize that puppy mix. And there we go. You see all the kibble's now broken down. We've got a semi-solid gloop, which is quite thick in consistency, and because it's still quite warm, that kibble will still continue to absorb quite a bit of fluid. So we're going to leave that now for another couple of minutes, and at that time we'll come and dilute it down so it's a consistency of milk. So here we have our puppy food and puppy milk mix. You'll see it's consistency of a sort of thick warm Weetabix at the moment. Smells a bit like Weetabix as well, to be honest. And what we're going to do is just add some filtered water to this and mix it so it is nice and liquid and sloppy for the puppies to lap up. Going to add a little bit more to that. There we go. Now I've added cold water to this. I'm just going to check the temperature of my finger. That's just nice and warm. Just feels slightly on the warm side. We'll leave that for another couple of minutes just to cool, and then that's ready to feed to the puppies. Okay, well this kibble mix has now been left for another 5 minutes. I'm going to give it a stir because when it is sat, the puppy meal tends to sink to the bottom, so we want it nice and mixed. Just going to double check the temperature, and that doesn't feel cold or hot to the touch. It suggests it's at the right temperature. And I'm going to put this into 2 bowls for the 7 puppies. Not fill it up completely yet. Puppies, you can see, are just waking up. Should be ready for a bit of a feed. And we'll introduce this to them and see if they're hungry this morning. There we go, pups. To your mum. Lunchtime. Nobody's starving, as you can see. We've all had breakfast, haven't we? And a feed off Mum in the last couple of hours, but let's see if they'll take some of this mix. There we go. I think I've just woken them up. They're all ready for a bit of a sleep, I think. Oh, somebody's having a walk in it, which is an occupational hazard when you're feeding puppies. But there we go. They'll gradually find their way to the bowls. And it will take them about 5 to 10 minutes to clean these bowls up. But that's a good sign that we're giving them the right volume. If they were finishing it off quicker than that, I'd say increase the volume slightly, or the frequency of the feeds. But if they're taking around 10 minutes and taking 90% of it off the bowls, then you've got the mix right. So we'll leave them now to finish their lunchtime feed.